Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back to the new Build Your Stash and Craft week 71. So today we are just going to make some decorative paper clips. You can use them for bookmarks or whatever you'd like to use them for. But I received these. I bought some jewelry at an estate sale and these were in there and I just really thought they were cute. Now why? I don't have any idea. But whenever I make paper clips, I always like put my decoration at the top. So there was just something about this being in the middle that really just fascinated me. So I came home and I tried one and I liked it also. And so I thought I'm just gonna show you how to make some of these. And it's just, I don't know why, I just like them because they're a little different than anything I've ever done before. And really anything I'd ever seen. They were in a like a pill bottle, you know, the kind you can kind of see through. And I had no idea even what they were till I took them out and flipped them over. And, you know, these are made in a factory, you know, they're bent around and they're welded on there or something. But I just really thought that they were cool. And like I said, until I flipped them over, I wasn't sure what they were. I didn't know if they were like a necklace that you hung from each end. I wasn't sure if they were a charm, but they are a paper clip. So we're going to make some. You may have seen them a million times. I just had never seen them before. And so I just wanted to play around with it. So basically, you can do it so many different ways. You can use your own papers and your paper punches that we got a while back. And where's my cardstock? So, and just go ahead and I'll glue this right on here before I punch it. It will be easier to punch. Whenever you want to punch something super thin, it is better to put paper behind it. Now, if you're not going to glue it to paper, you just want something thin and you want it punched out, but you don't want it stuck to another piece of paper, that's totally fine. Just put a piece of paper behind it, like cardstock or any kind of junk mail that's a little bit heavier. And then what happens is your punch is much better. Now, normally you shouldn't punch when your glue is wet. You should always wait till it dries because it will muck up your punches. It can muck up your scissors, that type of thing. So you should always wait for it to dry. But, you know, so you can just do it with paper punches. You can draw on it. You can glue things to it. Here I had some little extra stickers that I got somewhere. And so I punched an oval. And then I just went ahead and put some stickers on it, doodled on it a little bit. And I think it turned out cute. So you can do it that way. You can do it, when I did that, I thought it would look cute and it would be super easy to do it with, just with some, yeah, stickers. Now I can't get these. I put the paper clips on there and I can't get them off. I stuck them through the plastic. Okay, it's not that hard. There we go. There's one. Who's smarter, me or the paper clip? I'm going to cut the plastic right here. The paper clip's definitely smarter. Can't believe this. All right, come on. Get out of there. There we go. Okay, so now I just have some stickers here. And we also just have some paper punches. We can do them again however we want to. And so, you know, the easiest way, this one was just a punch with a little decoration on it. And because you want something that's going to be able to cover both the inside and the outside where the two come together, so that you only see the top and the bottom. You don't want anything that is super small. You want something that's just big enough to cover all of that and still let you see both ends also. Because that's what I think is interesting about it. And actually you could, once you made these, you could use them to put elastic on each end. And then you could use them as like a closure for a journal or something, where your elastic would just stretch. But this would be in the middle of your journal and your elastic would hook on both ends. That would be really kind of cute. So the stickers out of this package. And I'm going to use one of the smaller ones just because I think that they would work better. So I think I like this one, and that's probably about, yeah, that's about that size. So I think that I'll go ahead and I will use that one. Now, you don't want it to be sticky on the back side because you want to be able to, if you put it on there like that, and then what's going to happen is it's going to stick. Even if it does this, if you just slide a piece of paper in there, all of this would stick. So the easiest way to get rid of the stickiness is to just put it, again, let's put it on a piece of cardstock. So we're just going to put that on the cardstock. Now you could paint your cardstock, and actually, because of the fact that this is a sticker and it could come loose, I'm going to put a little bit of our Fix-It-All adhesive on the back of this sticker because I want to make sure that it sticks to the cardstock. It doesn't have to be absolutely everywhere. I just want them to hold together. So I'm just going to put it on there like that and then put it back on here. And then I'm going to cut around it. So, and that way, when that glue dries, it should definitely be stuck tight enough that it's not going to come off. Wipe my hand off because I've got glue on it. Okay, so there we go. I'm just going to cut around the sticker. Now, if you cut around the sticker and you didn't get close enough, or you want to leave a little so that you know you've got the whole sticker covered, just use a marker or something and go around the edge to cover up that paper if there's paper somewhere where you can see it. Okay, so there we go. That looks pretty good. And then what I did so that I didn't have quite as much to cover, plus I wanted extra to glue on the little piece in the middle, I used our jewelry tools that we got way back when. Whoops, there was a crash. Oh, here they are. I used the jewelry pliers and just went ahead, and because like they had it wrapped around like this on here, I'm going to do that partly just to make this a little bit smaller and to give me more place to glue to. So I'm just going to kind of bring that around a little bit. And then I want to make sure that it's flat, like that this is all flat, so that when you're putting it on and off something, that does not catch. And then also what I did was I just cut a little bit of this off just so that they were about the same height, so that when I put my sticker on there or whatever I was going to put there, that it would cover the whole thing. So just take your little wire cutters and just snip that off a little bit. Always make sure that you kind of hold on to it or just hold your hand over it so that that wire doesn't go flying. Okay, now the question is this going to be, if you have a really small sticker and you put it on here, sometimes it'll be way down here because it's really small. And you'll have a lot more at the top and the bottom, and I like them to be even. Now, this one, because of the flower, how big the flower is, that's going to be pretty much about the same amount at the top and at the bottom. So that's good. So if this was too close, if I had something very small, let's say I had something that was this size, even though it covers it up, there's only this much here at the bottom and all of this at the top. And you could do it that way too, but if you have too much, you can go ahead and you can just turn this some more to bring this bottom piece just up a little bit higher. And that way you'll be able to bring this up higher and make your ends even. So, and I also like to kind of bring this out and round it around so that this one and this one are about the same size. Whenever you have your paper clips, normally one end is skinnier than the other. And so I just kind of try and round it up a little bit and make it just a little bit bigger. And the reason I did that was because these are like that. These are the same almost at both ends. And I liked the way that looked, and that's part of the reason that I didn't realize it was a paper clip till I turned it over, because they were the same size. And normally with paper clips, one end is larger than the other. So I kind of like to make it so that both ends are a little bit wider, about the same width. And that way, to me, it doesn't look as much like a paper clip as if you have a skinny end and a fat end. So we're just going to glue that on there now. So when I glue it, I go ahead and pull this out just a little bit. Excuse me. So that I don't glue everything together, because this needs to glue onto our center so that we can still use it. We don't want this to accidentally get glued to either of the outside edges, or you won't be able to use it as a paper clip. And then I put the glue right on the wire, and trying not to get like way too much, just trying to make it nice and smooth on there, so there's not a whole ton. Then I try and hold it up where I can see it well and decide, because you're going to slide it onto paper this way. You could make it so that it slides sideways, and then you would want your flower to be that way. But to me, this is the top of my flower, and so I am going to make sure that I put that towards the top. And then I'm going to look and make sure that I think it looks about the same top to bottom. Now it's a little offset right now because I have, because I pulled that out. So it looks like it's on a little bit of an angle, but when it dries, then I will push those back together and make them tight again. So we're going to hold that like that and just make sure that it touches. Now I can see that this little bit, when I put it on here, that's not touching. And it's not touching because when I bent it around, I bent it out this way a little bit. So before I let it dry, I'm going to go ahead and take my pliers and just try and flatten that out a little bit so that it's all the same level. Make sure that you wipe your pliers off right away, because that's permanent glue. So I'm going to just wipe those off. And then, because there's still quite a bit of glue on here and quite a bit of glue on here, I don't really need to put any more. I'm just going to put that on there. Make sure that it's where I want it. And I'm too short here as far as to make me happy. So I'm going to move that up a little bit. And I do think that I like that. And then what I usually do is I take them and I set them upside down. I set them right on the sticker so that it can dry that way. So I just take it and put it like that, and then let it dry upside down. So then I was playing with the square stickers. I was playing with one of these, and I love these stickers from the Dollar Tree. And we'll just do this as a flowery one. So I was playing with this, and I wanted to put it on there and everything, and they looked really cool. But then I got to thinking, I thought, wouldn't it be kind of fun? Because I really like the fact that I hadn't seen something like this before. Wouldn't it be fun to have a paper clip that's square? Now, I know they make different shapes of paper clips. They make hearts and all sorts of things. But so I just went ahead and bent this out and bent it down, and then did the same thing on the other side. Just bend it out. Your things are making noise.
Ryder's coming back in.
Okay. My husband just came in to let me know his dog's coming in. Okay, so there we go. And so now we have a square paper clip. And then I just went to the other end and did exactly the same thing. And also by doing the square paper clip, then I'm going to try and make them both about the same size across here, just like I like it that it's the same there. I'm just going to put a nice corner on that, and then come over here right to about there probably, and put a corner on that. Now this one, I did wind up making this a whole lot bigger than the last one, so I should not have put that so far. I'm going to go ahead, because you do have to have the spot where you need to put it over your page or whatever. I'm going to come down, bring this down to right here. And again, I'm just working to get this corner, so it doesn't matter where the other wire went. Then I brought it down too far. So, you know, I'm just showing you what could happen when you're doing it. You could make them too long, or you could make them too short, because now I've really got an area here that, but I'll leave it like that. I'll leave that one like that, and then I'm just going to bring this one up. A little bit more so that I have a ring to glue to, and then I'm going to take off this excess here, and I will still have, make sure before I bother gluing it, I will still have a way to slide it onto the paper. But you can always just continue to adjust them. I don't want to adjust it too much more, because I was afraid that, you know, when you bend wire too much, then it can get soft in that area. I need to make sure that this is flat. And I've only done this once. This is the second time I've done it. So the more that you do something, the easier it gets. So if you do it and you really like it, it will get easier and easier for you each time that you do it. So there we go. Flatten that end up a little bit. And then go ahead and take one of our squares and see if that's going to work. And there we go. So there we'll have it as a square. So what we need to do is we need to have something on the back so that it doesn't stick to our paper when we put the paper clip on a paper. There we go. I forgot to put some glue on there, and I'm pretty sure that it will wind up releasing at some point in time if it's not glued. I'm pretty sure that sticker is not going to hold for a long, long time. And when you're making something that can be used over and over, you really want it to last. So there we go. Glue that on there. And then we're going to bend this out just a little bit. Put a little bit of glue on it. And put this on here, kind of leaving the same distance at the top and the bottom. Just like that. And then I'm going to flip it over and sit on my table. Now I'm going to take this off for a second. When I peeled that paper off of there, it kind of got a bit of a bend in it. And so it's not touching my sticker. And I definitely want it to touch my sticker. So I'm going to need to make sure I come back in a little bit and keep pressing that down, because the gel glue doesn't get hard really fast. When it gets hard, it stays hard. But sometimes you have to keep making sure that you've got your good contact so that it hasn't raised up and stays that way. Although if it does, I can just go ahead and put a little bit more glue on there. I just want to center that. And I'll just set that one up right side up. So you can make square ones. You can make it with your little extra bits. You can go ahead and take this was our twisted paper from last week. And we can decorate that up. I'm going to go ahead and turn that around and cut this just a little bit shorter. Whoops, I didn't do a very good job of that. That shot across the room. But that's why you hold your hand over top of it, because you definitely don't want it to shoot into your eye. And if you're not the only one in the room, what I just did, you need to make sure that you keep it so when it cuts off, that it stays on your table. Okay, and then we can just take that and put that right on there. And I'm even going to leave the 2 different sizes on there. And then I can decorate that up later if I want to. Usually I would decorate it before. Just because it always seems easier to decorate things before you start putting them together. I'm going to put the words on there at an angle. That way it doesn't matter which is up and which is down. But they're not there really to be read. They're there just as a background. So there we go. Now we'll let that one dry, and then I'll decorate that one. Just put a sticker on it or something like that. Maybe I'll draw on it. Maybe I'll cut something out of a magazine and put it on there. But there's lots of ways you can do them. This one is just a cabochon, so if you even had some jewelry, you could very possibly glue that on there. Again, using the Fix-It-All permanent super glue, because that really holds. That will hold metal to metal and that type of thing. So I'll just put these over here and look at the different ways that these can be made. And then they just slide on. Well, which way am I doing it? Yep, like that. So they look pretty much like a paperclip when you put them here. But when you have them out, they don't look as much. They look a little bit different. So there's our flower. And here is the first square one that I made. So that's pretty dry. So you're going to want to hold on to that, kind of really give this corner a push in while holding on to the rest of it so that you don't push that off, so that you can push those together. So, and if you can't get them tight enough, you can go ahead and bend this one out a little bit and then bend it this way and then just put it back together. And that makes it a little tighter. So there we go. We have square ones and we have oval ones. I really like the square ones. I think that they're really quite fun. I'm going to bend this one back just so I could see what it's going to look like. I really shouldn't because it's not dry yet, but I'm going to anyways. So there we go. That's this week's project. Super simple and easy, but just fun to make, I think. And I think fun to look at also. And again, like I said, with the way that these are, you could use them to hook things to both ends in other ways. So that's the whole thing. Remember, you can always use your different projects or your different little creations in other ways than what you think that they're meant to be. So stop and think about it and think, well, what else could I do with that? So there we go. Thank you very much for stopping by. Oh, yes, I do. I do know what next week's is going to be. You just heard it crash a little while ago. Next week, we're going to do decorative jar. So we just need an empty jar of any sort. It doesn't have to be, this size or anything else. Any decorative jar that you have that you want to use in your room, but you want to cover it somehow. So we're going to need a jar, and we are going to need some, like string beads, the type that are just all stuck together. These came from the Dollar Tree. These are Mardi Gras beads. And I think that's even what they call them, Mardi Gras beads. So we'll need some Mardi Gras beads from the Dollar Tree. We'll need our paints. We will need our jar, maybe some fingernail polish, and a roll of masking tape if you don't have a bunch left. I know we already got masking tape, but mine's getting very low. So from the Dollar Tree this week, I had to purchase some masking tape, and I had to purchase the beads that are on a string, all hooked together. And they can be just round beads, they can be shaped beads, they can be any type, but you want the type that they're strung together already, like where they won't move on the string. You know, they're not like strung beads where they'll go back and forth, and if you cut the string, they'll come off for you. So that's what we're going to need for next week. And we're just going to do some decorative jars next week. So thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I hope if you make this project that you have fun with it. And I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.